Good morning and welcome to First Financial Biz Beat, presented by the Business Courier. I'm Kyla Woods. Well, the late Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg said it best: women belong in all places where decisions are being made. And today on this show, it's all about the ladies. On the front page centerpiece this week, Women Who Mean Business, honoring 10 leaders whose accomplishments over the past year made everyone sit up and take notice. From the leader of a small business startup hub to a woman who launched a network for women to help women, and a woman known as a legend in law. The contributions of those recognized this year will persist long into the future. They're helping transform not only their organizations, but our region too. And one of those women is Jennifer Loeb. She's led the Ronald McDonald House of Greater Cincinnati for more than 2 decades. And just 2 weeks ago, it became the largest in the world. We are so excited to have Jennifer joining us this morning on First Financial Biz Beat. Jennifer, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, one positive that came from this year, and we saw it there in the video, I love seeing those videos of all the women being honored for this particular program. We've been able to celebrate some pretty monumental accomplishments of women right here in our community. So what does it mean for you to be named a woman who means business?
You know, it's been incredibly humbling, honestly, because for me, it's so much about our team at the house. For us to open this beautiful new home with 99 additional bedrooms, to raise $52 million, you don't do things like that alone. And so it's a great honor and I'm thrilled, but it's really, for me, it's about all the fabulous people I work with that make our mission possible every day.
Of course, that's a mark of a great leader, bringing the team along and making sure you acknowledge those team members. So I love what you said there. I also love what you said in the article about fundraising. You talked about fundraising being about building authentic relationships and helping donors find ways to make a meaningful difference. So can you talk about that particular approach, like instead of just raising money, why it's important to you to build those relationships?
You know, it's funny when people, even friends and family, hear that I'm in fundraising, they say, oh my gosh, that must be so hard to beg people for money. And I say, you're never begging. It's not that at all. You're giving people opportunities to make a difference and to help others and to leave their mark in the world. And so for us, it's always been about the relationships, about the donors themselves and not the gift. And we have amazing people who support our house, individuals and businesses and foundations. And you just meet some really incredible people along the way.
I think to your point that a lot of folks do find fundraising to be challenging, or they think, you know, it's this very weighty thing. So that's why I really wanted to have you speak to that, the importance of understanding that relationship building. There might be a young woman watching this who's just starting in fundraising, who is then able to, you know, have that encouragement along her professional journey. And another thing you mentioned in the article is about finding little pockets of self-care when possible. So can you elaborate on that, why we as women should make sure we find little treats along the way instead of waiting for some big magical self-care indulgence?
I mean, life gets busy for everyone. I think this year is, you know, an unexpected one for everyone. And sometimes you can't take a vacation or you can't take several days off. And if you just find those little things along the way to take good care of yourself. Sorry, this is my son. You can see we're at school at home today. So, you know, this is life. There's family stuff. Life is messy. And so all you can do is kind of roll with it and smile and be kind to yourself and get through it along the way.
I am grateful for the appearance by your son, because you know what? It is reflective of, like you said, this is life. This is what every woman who means business is managing every day. So many things. So hello to him in the background. Hello. Thank you for joining us today as well.
This is 2020 for you.
Yes, it is. It's a perfect example. So lastly, what excites you most about going into 2021?
You know, we have so much to look forward to. We have, you know, as you know, just opened this huge new building, and we're looking forward to filling it with families. Our census is down because of COVID restrictions, and we haven't had volunteers this year since March. And so we're really looking forward to even just an ounce of normalcy and bringing back those people who are so crucial to our mission and filling our beautiful new building with families who need it.
Absolutely, Jennifer. Thank you so much for your leadership. Thank you for everything you're doing, not only at Ronald McDonald House, but in our entire community. We're so grateful for that. And again, proud of you for this yet another accomplishment. I hope you're soaking it all in. You truly deserve it. And I hope you and your son and the rest of your family have a great rest of your weekend.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And you can read the in-depth profiles of all 10 women in the print edition, so make sure you pick up a copy, and they'll be recognized in a virtual award ceremony, and that will take place on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Now to the pandemic and one of the biggest public health projects in U.S. history. There's renewed hope that we are in the beginning of the end. That hope currently in millions of tiny glass vials. An FDA panel cleared the way for Pfizer's vaccine, meaning the most vulnerable could be getting shots in their arms soon. Adults in long-term care facilities and healthcare workers facilities are first in line. The delivery is the looming challenge. Pfizer is ramping up production to meet the demand for the vaccine, and states are frantically preparing. Like in Hamilton County, this is the setup inside the emergency management warehouse where doses from both Pfizer and Moderna will be stored. Dr. James Hildreth is on the panel deciding if the vaccines are good to go.
I'm very excited about the results. And what's more exciting to me, Kate, is that there are 2 vaccines based on this platform that have provided almost exactly the same results. And that also, to me, is a very encouraging and exciting result of all of this.
The second vaccine is from Moderna. It is expected to get the go-ahead this upcoming week. Well, that vaccine couldn't come at a better time. COVID cases and deaths are at record-setting levels, and with hospitals filling up close to capacity, Ohio is extending its curfew. The governor's 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. rules were set to expire Thursday, but Governor Mike DeWine is extending that another 3 weeks until January 2nd. It calls for everyone to stay home during those times unless it's for work, groceries, or a medical reason. The restrictions are why the home of the oldest name in Cincinnati beer is shutting down. The company that owns Christian Moreline is stopping production at the brewery on Moore Street in OTR and laying off its entire production staff. And that includes founder Greg Hardman, who revived the Moreline brand in the early 2000s. The tap room had been closed since June, and Moreline, Little Kings, and Hootapole will still be made in Cincinnati, but it's not clear who will be brewing it. And this does not affect the Moreline Lager House at the Banks. A Clifton classic will be staying closed too. The Proud Rooster, which has been in the Gaslight District for decades, has been closed since September when the owner had a stroke and had to have surgery. His daughter tells us that they'll wait out the pandemic and reopen when it's safe for the owner to work there again. And while a vaccine is coming, it'll be months before everyone can get the shots. And employment numbers are starting to creep up again. Millions of Americans could lose their homes when the federal eviction moratorium expires at the end of the month. Mercy Health leaders say housing and health care are connected. That's why it's launching its eviction prevention program. The $300,000 will help renters with financial assistance and connect them with resources.
We recognize the critical link between health and housing. We have also made a long-standing commitment to the neighborhoods of Bont Hill and Roseland since we put our corporate headquarters there in 2015.
We pulled the data from the clerk of court's office on pending evictions in these neighborhoods, and it's well into the hundreds. So I think the eviction avalanche isn't, it's not a crazy theory. You can see it in the numbers.
And you have to be a resident of Bond Hill or Roselawn to qualify. The latest stimulus bill being discussed by Congress does include the $300 a week in federal unemployment. The bipartisan package also includes billions for rental assistance. But right now, there is still a ways to go before Democrats and Republicans agree on a deal. Well, we'll know by next week who will replace P.G. Sittenfeld on City Council. Sittenfeld, who is facing bribery charges, accepted a temporary suspension. Fellow indicted council member Jeff Pastor did the same thing a couple of weeks ago. And just like it was with Pastor, Republican Hamilton County probate judge Ralph Winkler will choose the replacement. Sittenfeld is a Democrat, and most of the potential replacements are moderate Republicans.
Is it right that you should be allowing partisan politics to make this decision?
Everything is politics, so politics isn't the dirty word that some people think it is, but doing the right thing is what I'm going to do.
Whether they're Republicans or Democrats or charterites, I don't think that should matter. The only thing that matters at this point is, are you going to help us clean things up? Are you going to help us, change the culture? Are you going to help us get things done?
Sittenfeld's indictment is leading to more people entering next year's mayor's race. That includes fellow council member Wendell Young and State Senator Cecil Thomas. Thomas, a former city councilman and Cincinnati police officer, says he will run with a caveat. If Sittenfeld does clear his name, he'll drop out. Sittenfeld was seen as the favorite to replace John Cranley. Well, Young and Thomas are among 15 people who have picked up petitions from the Board of Elections. 59 have done the same thing for council. And while this doesn't mean all of them will run, it does show an elevated level of interest spurred by the trio of corruption scandals.
When there was a sense that P.G. Sittenfeld was an invincible candidate, nobody really wanted a part of this. But, that invincibility has been pierced. And, there's a number of folks in Cincinnati who are asking the question, why not me?
And it's also worth noting that as of now, none of the mayoral hopefuls are Republicans. Well, up next on First Financial Biz Beat, Moeller's ambitious plan to transform the high school and the international company moving into the old Cincinnati Gardens site. An aerospace company is expanding and planting roots at the site of the old Cincinnati Gardens. Team Industrial Services will be the first tenant in the new facility on Seymour Avenue. The Texas-based company will move to up to 80 jobs from Woodlawn and create 60 more when they establish an aerospace inspection and testing center next November. The port bought the site in 2016 and demolished the gardens the next year. The largest fundraiser in Moeller High School history is underway. The goal, $14 million, and it's already received more than $11 million. When fully funded, the campaign will help families with the $15,000 tuition. It would also lead to new facilities, including a student commons, innovation hub, performing arts center, locker rooms, and a baseball stadium.
We're striving for Moeller to be the best high school in the country, and this campaign does both. So investing in the endowment makes sure that we have enough financial aid so that students can come here, and the investment in our facilities helps improve our academics, our arts, our athletics, and just the overall culture of the school.
We've leaked renderings of the planned improvements on our website at bizjournals.com/Cincinnati. Well, back to our theme this week of women in leadership. A quick scan of First Financial's team of executives shows that when it comes to women in charge, they mean business. Ilaria Rollins is one of those women, and she's with Courier Market Engagement Director Kelly Snyder to talk about the bank's women's initiatives.
Ilaria, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Kelly.
It's hard to believe that it's been 5 years, and we appreciate the support First Financial has given us over the years. Can you tell us why it's important to both you and First Financial to support the Women Who Mean Business event?
Absolutely. Thanks again, Kelly. I'm honored to be a part of this program along with First Financial, and so proud that we've been a part of it since its inception. Written into our mission statement is wanting to be woven into the communities in which we serve. And to us, that is so important because it connects us and it helps us build and strengthen the communities, really from a financial perspective. For Women Who Mean Business specifically, we really then take a step back and look at a significant number of self-employed businesses are women-led, and then a significant number of incorporated businesses are women-led. And so therefore, really, those tie together and allow us to be woven more closely to the communities in which we serve.
So can you talk to us about the commitment to diversity within First Financial and the development of women in leadership?
One of my favorite parts of really working for First Financial is the commitment that we do have to diversity and women in leadership. And it really can be represented in, if you take a look at who is in our executive layers of leadership, we have our Chief Strategy Officer is a female. We have our Chief Human Resource Officer, female. Chief Legal Counsel and Risk Officer is a female. We have our Mortgage Banking President, she's a female, and I get to lead our retail bank. And so just seeing people and females in those positions really allows the team within First Financial to understand that we're committed to the diversity, we're committed to women in leadership, and we know by having stronger teams and more diverse teams, we're really going to be better for it, with stronger ideas, different perspectives, and just a more well-rounded team.
Well, thank you so much. First Financial has been a terrific partner, and I hope all of you will join us. The link is on your screen to celebrate these 10 amazing women who mean business of the 2020 class. Thanks again, Ilaria, for being here.
Thank you very much, and congratulations to all of the honorees.
Thank you, Kelly and Ilaria. Well, still to come on First Financial Biz Beat, a first look at the new multi-million-dollar outdoor resort coming to Kings Island. Kings Island will debut a massive new outdoor attraction just in time for the 2021 season. Here's video of Camp CEDAR, a 50-acre resort near the front gates of the park. It'll bring RV camping and cottages, and there will also be pools, ponds, walking trails, and restaurants. Well, we end this morning with one more woman on top, Tammy Whitinger, the president and CEO of the Brighton Center, and she's with Courier publisher Jamie Smith.
Thank you, Kyla. And Tammy, thanks for being with us today. You know, before we get into a discussion about the Torch Awards, can you briefly tell our viewers what the Brighton Center is all about?
Absolutely. And I'm so honored to be here today. Thank you, Jamie, for asking me to speak a little bit. So Brighton Center has been around for over 50 years. So many of you might already know what we do, but just in a nutshell, our mission is really to create opportunities for individuals and families to achieve self-sufficiency. And we do that through family services, support services, education, employment, and leadership opportunities. So we really have a broad array of services that we offer people at all points in the life cycle, all working towards self-sufficiency. They're very comprehensive, very family-oriented. So that's kind of what we do, and we've certainly been very busy during the pandemic and trying to be there for our families and be a source of hope and inspiration for our families.
Well, you know, thank you for that, and thank you for everything that you guys have do. You're such a big part of the region. So given what you guys do, why was it important to you and your organization to apply for a Torch Award? And for those that are maybe be new to what a Torch Award is, it really centers around the business of ethics and doing the right thing and social responsibility. So why was that, important to you guys?
Well, it's extremely important to us as a community-based organization and a nonprofit. I think people always want reassurance that an organization that they may support has ethical practices. And when we think about who our customers are, we want our customers to feel like they can trust what we do. We want our donors to feel that way. We want the broader community to understand that we have ethical practices. So it's really about continuing to build that trusting relationship with the community. And we do that through a number of ways. We also are an accredited organization through the Better Business Bureau, and we have multiple accreditations and licenses for our programming that can continue to send that message that, we are doing things at a high standard, and that's important for the community to know and understand. We also have a set of core values that this is very aligned with. Our value around accountability and transparency, as well as building those effective working relationships with the community, is a part of who we are. And we really felt like this Torch Award spoke to that. So that's why it was so important for us to apply and continue to apply for the Torch Award.
Well, that's awesome, Lauren. Congratulations for winning this year. I know it's a big feather in your cap. Can you talk a little bit about, after the fact, coming out of it, was there anything along, I know it's a process and you've got to kind of pull a lot of things together. Was there anything you learned about yourself or any improvements or any things that you thought, wow, we really do a good job at this? Anything this award taught you?
Well, for those who haven't filled out the application, you actually have to think back over your past year and you have to provide examples of where the organization has made ethical decisions at all levels in the organization. So from decisions related to your customers, decisions related to your volunteers, your staffing, your fundraising. And so, you know, I think, you know, with organizations, you make decisions so quickly that you really have to have that base for making ethical decisions. And when we look back at some of those things that we did, I think we were surprised at how many ethical decisions pop up over the course of a year and over the course of delivering services to over 46,000 people. We have about 180 staff. So that's a lot of situations, you know, that can pop up over the course of the year. And if you don't have that steady hand, you know, and that sense of accountability and transparency and what is fair, what is consistent, you know, what is of the highest organizational standard that you can achieve, then I think those decisions are a lot harder. So it was definitely a great practice for us to look back. And I hope the message that the community gets as a result of this is that Brighton is constantly working to be of the highest ethical standard, that transparency is very important to us, accountability at all levels is extremely important to us. And we, you know, try to manifest that in many ways with our staff through training and our volunteers through training, but also just in the day-to-day decisions, you know, that we have to make. Yeah. And I do think this pandemic has brought some additional ethical decisions as well, you know. You know, it's been a year. Yeah. That's all I can say.
Well, I can't go far enough to congratulate you. I've been you know, as a 27-year resident of Northern Kentucky and now in Cincinnati, I've just watched the great work that you guys have done, and you know, the trajectory that you guys have made, and so honored that you guys won this award. Congratulations to you, and I look forward to seeing future great things out of you.
Thank you, Jamie. We're so honored. Thank you to the Better Business Bureau and the Torch Awards. It was right. Very much an honor.
Congratulations to you, and we'll talk soon.
Sounds good.
All right. Back to you, Kyla.
Thank you so much, Jamie, and thank you for joining us for First Financial BizBeat. A heads up, we'll be back on Star 64 next Saturday, again at 11:30. I'm Kyla Woods. Have a great weekend.